a cult recruited my brother. We were just a normal family. He was a very successful man.
I'm eternally grateful to have found Mother.
That's the reason why we're still here, because if it happened to him, we recognize that this could happen to literally anybody.
And we have our two newbies that just showed up, our sons from long ago that have come home.
My brother was in the Love Has Won cult.
She was better known as Mother God.
Mother God.
Mother God.
Mother God.
My brother wanted to go home and was left in the middle of the mountains with no belongings. He almost died.
If you're not connected to me, you're out.
I'm Amanda. I helped my brother escape the Love Has Won cult. People ask me why my brother joined a cult. He did not decide that he wanted to join a cult. He didn't even recognize they were a cult. The pandemic was the perfect storm for him to join.
A SARS-like virus which has infected hundreds in China.
Our country's shut down. Everybody panicked. Toilet paper was off the shelf. Schools were closed, and nobody predicted that. We've never lived through anything like that. And so with that fear, that made him vulnerable. He found a group of people that had some similar beliefs as him, and it just resonated with him. And then essentially they preyed on that vulnerability. Love Has Won is a group of extremely talented, kind-hearted members that were at a vulnerable time in their lives and fell victim to the manipulation and coercion of Amy Carlson, Miguel Lamboy, and most recent Father God, Jason Castillo. Cult leader Amy Carlson believed that she was God incarnated.
You can tear me down, kill me. I've been killed several times.
Amy claimed that she had been reincarnated 534 times, including Jesus, Marilyn Monroe, Joan of Arc, and that she had been trying to save humanity for 19 billion years. It's so crazy, right? That people believe it. Doesn't it sound like the craziest thing?
Yeah, it's like
That's what I thought with my brother. That's why I'm here, because I'm like, my brother's the most normal guy. He found them on Facebook. He started listening to their live streams twice a day. Out of the blue, told me that he had found God. She's here on the planet, and her name is Amy Carlson. I knew nothing about cults. I did not recognize that they were a cult, and I just thought, you're wrong, but okay. And then before we knew it, he started ordering all their products. He had the blanket with Amy's face on it. He had all of their healing products. He was ordering their crystals. I tuned into the Love Has Won live streams, and I immediately recognized that they were not what they said they were.
Because I am God!
I can't breathe! I got my head stuck in my like the rest of humanity!
You are treason for all humanity.
Members contacted him and told him that he needed to come out to mission in order to save humanity, and off to mission he went. He was very excited to be there.
I've dropped everything in order to be here to honor Mother. Come to Mom and help Mom in all ways possible.
However, my brother is a very confident guy, so we knew that his energy was not going to mesh well with this group. We knew he would either get kicked out, or he would be the next Father God, and thankfully he got kicked out. My brother told me that he took a drink of a liquid, a beverage, and hugged Jason, who was the Father God, and he was hearing voices. And then he was told by Jason that he had to go off and fight 3 days of darkness. So that's what he did. When we found out that he had left, we reached out to Miguel Lamboy, asking where he was. We were not given any information. I think their plan was for him to leave mission that day and never be found. He left the cabin, went off to fight these 3 days of darkness, and almost died. We ended up creating a missing Facebook report and had all of his description, and that was shared over in Colorado. And ultimately it was a stranger that saved him based off of what he has stated, not only to us, but also what the law enforcement agency as well as the hospital who evaluated him. They both suspected he was under the influence of a hallucinogen, so we're unsure what was in the liquid that he drank, but he did not ingest a hallucinogen himself. People assume that my brother had substance abuse issues or mental health issues, but the reality is that he was a very successful man. That's the reason why we're still here, because if it happened to him, we recognize that this could happen to literally anybody. People ask me why I spend so much time speaking out against Love Has Won, and that's because even though the cult leader Amy Carlson was found deceased, this group has divided and they continue on.
Amy's mummified remains were found.
We woke up one morning and there was heavy police presence at the location that they called the Mission House. And there had been a raid that night before where Amy's decomposing body was found wrapped in Christmas lights. Around her eyes, it was painted with glitter. There were reports that her eyes had been removed. And we later found out during that raid, they realized there were children in the home. Even after she passed away, they are still continuing on spreading her message. In order to deprogram from a cult, it is critical to educate yourself with cult experts. So the way to think about it is they are plugged into this cult many different ways. One, with Love Has Won, were their products. Another one were their live streams, and then their chat group. So the easiest way to help them naturally deprogram is by unplugging all of those different avenues that the cult has connections with. They need to be the ones to realize Amy died and nothing that was supposed to happen happened. So starships never came. They have to be the ones to recognize that. And the way that as a loved one, you can help them do that is by asking open-ended questions and getting them to critically think themselves. I think that people just assume that after his experience and he made it back home safely, that his life was back to normal, when in fact, when you exit a cult, healing takes up to a year, according to cult experts. And for my brother, it was 6 months before his life was back to normal.